Hello and welcome to the Google Arts and Culture website. This website is constantly changing and being updated, so you're going to want to make sure that you check back frequently for new information. Also, I want to let you know right off the bat that this is not an education website. Okay, this is Google's Arts and Culture website that covers all the topics that any museum would. So these are not filtered for education. If you would see it in a museum, you would see it here. So please make sure that you preview all themes and collections before you show these to your students so that there are no unwanted surprises. And this might not be the type of website that you just want to let your students explore freely. You might feel that some of the content is too mature for them or would be a distraction. Okay, so just that little disclaimer, this is a great place for you to come to find enhancing materials for your literature, social studies, and science curriculum, okay? And then to take that curated content and share it out with your students. So let's start with the menu across the top. We are at Home. Explore is an ever-changing tab. This will change daily, lets you know the latest collections and topics and categories that they are putting together. Nearby outlines what museums are near you. So then you can get a list and how far away everything is. And then you have your favorites. Okay, so favorites is very important because once you find something that you like, it can be very hard to find it again. So even if you're not sure if you would use it, you definitely want to go ahead and mark it as a favorite so that it's easy to find later. Let's go back to home. A second menu that is a little more hidden is under these three lines. And this menu breaks things down a little bit better. So these buttons really just mimic what's across the top. They just call it profile instead of favorites. Now we can get into the collections. And here you have things labeled either just everything in random order, if you like it alphabetized, or they also have it on a map view. And this can be an interesting way to show the various density of museums in different countries. And especially if you wanted to contrast how two different countries maybe see the same event. You know, looking through museums in different parts of the world really let us know how they tell a story. So it can be an interesting comparison how various World War II museums and memorials are represented throughout the various countries. So that can be a handy feature. Also, we have themes. This definitely plays up a lot of current events in the arts and culture. And these can be a great resource because they're pretty extensive in what's been made. So if we click on the American democracy one, and then right away here is where I would mark it as a favorite. So even though I'm not sure yet if I would want this, I'm going to mark it so that way I don't forget later. And then you can tell they have a lot of content here. So we have stuff for all the presidents with how many items are underneath, the presidential pets, different facts, into the first ladies, and then you can even find virtual tours of presidential homes. So there's a lot of various content within a collection. And again, though, you're going to want to make sure that you have definitely filtered some of it, find the best stuff because it is for adults first and students second. So just some things to remember as you are trying to find the best content for your students. So that was under themes. Next, we have experiments. This is also constantly changing. A lot of these are games for your kids, you know, and honestly, a lot of them work better on phones, but it gives you an idea. This is a fun one that you could do with class or like an independent extra activity where you just shows you pictures of two things and then you pick which one comes first. So lots of various ideas on here. And then they go ahead and organize their content by different art categories. So if you wanted to explore just a particular artist, again, you could go by who they think is popular, alphabetical order, or by time. So if you wanted to enhance a social studies unit about what was happening in art during that same time in history, then this would be a great resource for that. And then you can just kind of spin the time dial and it will show you the art during that time. You go back home, back to this menu. Mediums, art movements, all those things are exactly what they say they are. And you have lots of choices. The, the mediums can be a lot of fun as far as letting you know the different art content. So this is just a quick overview to Google Arts and Music and Culture. Again, this is not an educational website, but it can provide for some really interesting learning for you and your students. So I hope that you will take the time to explore it and leads to some good discussion.